The Lloydminster Interval Home Society is now able to expand their shelter to help more people in need. Connor Chan has more.
I'm joined with Charlene Rowein, the COO of the Lloydminster Interval Home Society. So Charlene, first off, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Connor, for inviting me to meet with you.
Now, there was a completion with the second phase of expansion, which expanded the amount of rooms for the shelter. Just talk about the process of getting that done, and as well as what it will mean ultimately for the shelter.
Yeah, so we had known all along that we've been wanting to build a new shelter with the amount of capacity that we've had over the last few years. We noted that, with the amount of turnaways that we've had, that we wanted to increase our shelter beds. So before we, with the need to have more rooms, we realized our dream of building a new shelter is still a little ways away. So we realized that we could utilize the space that we had in our shelter by removing our offices. So that was our first phase. So we moved our offices over to the location where our youth center is at, and we renovated those spaces in the offices to back to bedrooms. So now we're able to expand from 21 beds to 33 beds. So that's where we are at right now with our second phase, and we are all completed and now have those rooms available.
Where did the money come from to get those renovations done to be able to expand the amount of rooms?
So we had a great campaign started. It's called Bridging the Gap. And part of that is to bridge that gap between the amount of turnaways that we had to that we knew that we were having to be able to really accept those women and their families into the shelter. So the campaign has been running for some time now to help manage those renovations, both for our first phase and our second phase. The campaign had a goal of $415,000, and we're at about 74% there, but we were able to complete those renovations at this time still.
Now that we're in the phase 4.2 of the Reopen Saskatchewan plan, has there been an increase in clients coming into the shelter, as well as also just give a little bit of an update on day-to-day operations now for the Interval Home Society?
Yeah, so when we first back in March, April there, when things were starting to shut down, we noticed that there was a decline in people coming to the shelter. And at first, and we noticed that that was across Alberta. There was fewer people coming and accessing those services. But now as things are been lifting, right across Alberta, we're starting to see the increase in calls again. And actually, we're back to capacity. So we have lots of families accessing our shelter. Even prior to that, though, when there was a bit of a slowdown to the emergency shelter, we've seen an increase with our outreach services. So people were still accessing services through our outreach program.
Now, I know fundraising continues to be a big part for the Interval Home Society. I know there have been some events that were canceled, unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic. Talk about some of the current fundraisers that are going on right now.
Yeah, so one of our major fundraisers that we had back in May had to be postponed. Our Dreaming Out Loud ball that we have for children and their families had to be postponed. So we had Cody from Maz Entertainment approach us. He always supports us through that campaign or through that fundraiser. And so he come up with this great idea of having an outdoor cinema, backyard cinema. So that's currently what we have happening right now. So with that one, we have Cody coming and setting up a movie screen and offering his DJ services. And then we also have Spiros and Lloydminster District and Co-op on board as well to supply pizzas and snacks and beverages. So people can reach out and purchase tickets for that. They're $10 a piece, and they can have up to 10 to 15 people in their backyards and have a nice little party for themselves, whether it's like with friends or family or have it as a kids party. It's really open to all ages. So it'll be a lot of fun. And the draw is happening on August 4th. So all funds that are raised from that will come back to the society to help support all operations of the society.
And lastly, I know it's been tough times for a lot of organizations to raise funds, but just talk about how the community has supported the Interval Home Society during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, you know what, we know how fundraising and how these are tough times for everyone. So we're just really fortunate that, our current donors, and we still have new donors that are wanting to support us, And so we continually see that support coming through. We're not as active, obviously, with fundraising, like with our Bridging the Gap campaign, just because we understand the conditions that are on everyone right now. But certainly we're so appreciative of those people who are out there that recognize the need and still want to support us. So we're really grateful to those individuals.
Well, Charlene, I really appreciate your time, and thank you very much for joining me and giving us an update on the Interval Home Society. So thank you.
No, thank you, Connor. Take care.